Hey guys, welcome back to Alyssa's Reality. Um, Today it's not going to be any type of typical video or react or God, this lighting, a react or anything like that. Today I feel like this, like I said, this space is my reality. This is how I see the world, how I perceive the world, and how me perceiving it this way affects me. I'm gonna move this really quickly. I don't want to have to edit too much of this, or any of it all, honestly, because, like I said, this is my reality. And to me, in order to stay faithful to my reality, I have to perceive myself as well. I have said in a past video how much I do not plan on overstepping boundaries when it comes to my privacy. However, I do. I do think I can generalize without exposing things that I would prefer to be private. So for me, I feel like this past year and a half has honestly been very difficult because, as most people who probably are watching this know, I suffer with dissociation. Dissociation can lead to a whole bunch of different other things, but that's my privacy and that's the things I'm not going to get into. But when it comes to like how I function with this, I wouldn't call myself disabled. It's just that this is why, again, I do this on YouTube. It's because I'm realizing that, like, my reality, my perspective is just one. And because of that, it's no greater or lesser than anyone else's. And no one's going to fall in line to that perspective. At least not without being persuaded. Even more fundamental. You know, I know I'm black and I knew all these things about my blackness and why it was a hindrance. But I'm kind of seeing how. And it's just the lack of peace. It's the lack of hindrance in every perspective that you go through because you are a certain tone. Same thing with weight, gender, everything. So when you add a mental health disorder that dissociates you away from certain perspectives, I've had to work very hard to be happy, to choose happiness. But this past year has been pushing me. As a spiritual person, who's just deconstructed herself, I do not pretend that suffering is necessary for growth. And that suffering is a blessing in disguise. It is not. In my opinion, suffering is the result of the battles between evil and good spirit. And we are just in the way. With my belief in Christianity, I believe there's a reason we got in the way, or how we got in the way, that we were purposely brought into the way. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, I do not believe suffering is some sort of indicator as to where you are in your journey when it comes to being fulfilled, at least in my spirituality. So it's really hard for me to figure out the lesson. And I think that's everyone right now, but when you dissociate away from the assumptions even put on you, and you're like, I'm awesome, what do you mean just because I'm a black woman I can't do da 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 da? You know, that doesn't make, that takes me a second to remember from time to time, like, oh, these people are perceiving me not in the way I perceive myself. And so on here, I just want to share my true version of myself, my perception of myself. And recently, it just feels like that has not been good enough. It feels like I have to change things about myself while also somehow loving them at the same time. It's like, if I love something, I guess we should let it go. But I guess, again, it's that those things come true, and then you're like, it just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense to let go of things that have kept me safe and protected me. And it feels like I'm being asked to dislike those things or see those things as not beneficial, because they're not. They're not benefiting me in the external world. And I'm getting there, but there have been it has come in from all sides, medical, relational, all sides have kind of just shown me career that, you know, I have to be more, I have to allow more perspectives inside of my little reality, or I'm not going to be able to achieve some of the things I want to achieve in the external. It's not that I don't want to be here. It's not that I don't want to be around people. I love people, in my honest opinion. I just have issues with how I perceive versus how they perceive. And how they expect me to present myself and the way I want to present myself. It's a hard battle to choose success sometimes and choose yourself other times. But I really liked how Shonda Rhimes, I believe this person said this, maybe not, but it's a quote that went like, you can't be awesome at everything all at once. You can't be both a good mom and a good businesswoman. And a lot of us like to pretend that we can be good at a lot of things all at once, and it's just not possible. So it's like I have to, when I choose success in this world, I often have to compromise how I'd like to go about it, because I just don't have a choice. My reality does not allow me to move in a way that I feel is correct. And I have to love myself through that, because if not, I will become like others and just become a soldier for the system. But then sometimes I have to serve myself. And it feels more and more spiritually ordained. And I think that balance is the spiritual war that's always going inside of us because of the things that bring suffering. Doing what they're doing. I'm okay, but I'm working. And so if you're in my real external life and I haven't been talking to you, haven't been hanging out as often, know that it's because I am serving myself at this moment. And that requires 24/7 decisions where I know I'm pushing myself, yes, but also feeling like I'm doing it in the safest way possible for me. I need to know how I need to move forward in every aspect of, when it comes to health in particular, when it comes to career in particular, and getting money and finding money. I have to be more serious about it. But I don't want to give it the hustle culture either. So right now I'm balancing those two things, serving those two things, because that's what God is asking me to do right now. But I feel really crappy because I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good relational person, but it's just not the time for me right now. So yeah, I am both frustrated and excited because I understand that typically after suffering comes a period of growth. I don't like to call what we went through in particular, what I went through in particular, suffering. To me, the biggest lessons I learned is that there's a big difference between suffering and a trial. I do believe that challenges make us stronger as people, but I also do believe that there are things put in the way to make us suffer. And deciphering between one and the other is honestly the biggest difference in my mental health, that I probably am capable of going through what I'm going through right now. If I didn't have that added perspective, I don't know how I'd be handling the situations in my life. So, thank God for that. Well, that's all I'm going to do, guys. I did not want this to be super long because I'm not going to even edit this. I'm really going to pop this up on YouTube and just like show you the person behind the scenes. I give very structured analysis about things. And so sometimes I'm like, remember it's a YouTube channel. Maybe I can be just chill and cool and don't have to be perfect. So, yeah. Until next time, like I say, may my faith be enough for us both. Have a great day. Bye.